welcome back again. Yes, I'm recording this on the same day, even though these videos are released on separate days. At any rate, here's another Star Wars book review for you. Today I'm reviewing Star Wars High Republic Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Now, in summary, this book is set about 200 years before the Phantom Menace, and it's during what they call the Golden Age of Peace in the Republic, where there's basically very, very few conflicts or wars or anything like that. And the hyperspace lanes have just recently been discovered and opened and used. And some people still see hyperspace as sort of a newfangled thing. Kind of like the mid 1800s and rail travel. People are still kind of skeptical about it, even though it's getting more and more widespread, opening up the frontier. It's kind of, same kind of thing with hyperspace. Same kind of thing with hyperspace in the book. What happens is there's this transport ship traveling through hyperspace with like a huge number of colonists on board who are heading to the Outer Rim to become farmers, you know, seek out new territories and all that stuff. And a cataclysm happens. Something hits them in the middle of hyperspace, which is supposed to be, you know, impossible, and destroys part of the ship and breaks so many pieces apart that they scatter into like a couple hundred pieces, some of them sealed compartments which still have living people on board hurtling through space completely uncontrolled at near hyperspace speed. And whenever they hit something, both that fragment and whatever they hit pretty much is destroyed, and this includes outposts, even like small moons. So it's pretty devastating. They take out a whole lot of things, and the Chancellor ends up closing the hyperspace lanes to figure out what happened. They basically need to find the black box, find out what's going on, try and save the rest of the people that are still alive inside some of those compartments, and of course the Jedi are involved. Yoda does not make anything but a cameo appearance at the very end, but there are several Jedi showing up to help, and I have to say their depiction's pretty good. And it turns out there's a horrible like gang of marauders who, as it turns out, are behind the whole thing. They're called the Nile, and their leader is certifiable sadistic and completely insane. It's he's willing to sacrifice his own people in like the hundreds, even thousands, to get his own way and or to exact revenge. And it's terrifying and kind of sickening at points, but it ends at the end. They think they defeated the Nile, but it turns out they've only destroyed a third of it, which the leader sent out on purpose to sort of misdirect the Republic, like, oh, guess what? They think we're gone, ha ha ha. No, we're not. We're going to expand across the whole galaxy, because up until now they've only been operating in the Outer Rim, and the way they operate is they've got this super mental old lady who's like a mathematical genius who can plot routes across hyperspace lanes, which is how the initial impact happened in the first place. It's very, very convoluted, very sci-fi. I'm not good at science, so I can't explain it very well. But in short, he's using this old lady, keeping her alive for the sole purpose of finding paths across the normal hyperspace lanes and wreaking whatever heck they decide. Like I said, very disturbing, and it ends on a cliffhanger with one of the main Jedi, what's the dude's name? He's a Jedi, Loden Greatstorm, captured and being tortured, as a Jedi can be tortured by mentally hurting other people is how you hurt a Jedi, because you know they can sense the pain. Kind of a Darth Vader using Leia, Han, and Chewie as bait to capture Luke. At any rate, it ends on a cliffhanger. No idea what ends up happening to the Jedi Master, and then I think his apprentice starts having these visions of all this horrific stuff, and I don't know where to find the next book in this series. So my favorite things in Light of the Jedi are the depictions of the Jedi in their heyday. Thought that was really, really good. The diversity of the characters, I do appreciate that. It's a big galaxy and a variety of planets. It's not just like all deserts or whatever. It's a wide variety. It actually feels like a whole big galaxy. It feels very, very big. I like the largeness of it. And I also love the fact that the Jedi on the outpost, and I think it's called on Alfrona, have what is essentially a pet dog. That's awesome. My least favorite things about the book were there was a lot of language, a lot more than I've ever encountered in another Star Wars book, except perhaps First Shot, which is about Han Solo's past. I don't like the newer canon books that are aimed at adults because they're starting to feel more and more like an R-rated movie or show, and I don't like that. I prefer my Star Wars to be a little bit more PG, a little bit more family friendly. And maybe that's just, too much to hope for these days. Maybe I should just stick to the youth novels, I don't know. Another thing I did not like was there's extremely high body count. These fragments of the transport crash into so many different things, kill lots and lots of people, billions in fact. It's just like, ugh. It's very disturbing and kind of numbing at points. And also the cliffhanger ending, because it doesn't say stay tuned for the next book, because certain things in a series in the past, in a Star Wars series in the past, would say, okay, stay tuned for this book, or this book is coming out, look for this at like March 2005 or something. You know what I mean. And there's nothing like that at the end, so you're kind of left hanging like, oh, what? What do I look for? I think I found the next one in the series. I'm going to see if I can order it from the library, find out where it goes from there. My favorite characters in there were Jedi Master Avar Kriss. She hears the Force as a song. I thought that was very, very neat. Everyone feels the Force in a different way. Bel Zettifar, who is the Padawan of Loden Greatstorm. Loden Greatstorm has got this obsession with trying to teach his Padawan to land from extremely high places without getting hurt. And up until a critical point, he's had to catch his apprentice at the very last minute. And this guy, Bel Zettifar, is doubting if he'll ever get it. But at the critical moment, he does. To save a little girl's life. And I love that. And of course, my other favorite character is Ember the Charhound. We don't get much description about what she looks like, but she hangs out with the Jedi and she's protective of them, and apparently she can also breathe fire, so that's kind of cool and also kind of terrifying. My least favorite characters, oh gosh, every member of the Nile, especially the head guy. I didn't write down his name because I'm so just disgusted by him. Cold, Sub-Zero, and certifiably insane. We're talking Joker levels of insanity here. I really hope he gets his just desserts at the end of the series, because that would be extremely satisfying. So, how do I score this book? A 7 out of 10, meaning it was extremely well written, the characters were very well fleshed out, but am I going to read it again? No. Am I going to finish the series just to see how it ends up? I don't know. I'm going to have to wait until I've read the second book in the series. If that's just as depressing or even more so as this one, then I may just decide, nope, I value my mental health more than that, because the way it is, I have to consume more positive things than negative. Otherwise, the negative starts to take over my mind and I start losing hope. That's just the way my crazy head works. So there you go, guys. That's been a very long-winded review of Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more positive Star Wars content, go ahead and click that little subscription button down below, and don't forget to check out the links in the description box. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, push the algorithm so more people see this. Question of the day: have you read any of these Star Wars High Republic books? If so, what do you think of them? And are there any you would specifically recommend to me, like something that's positive and has, a happy ending? Because, it has to be at least a bittersweet ending, if not an absolute happy ending, where the bad guys are punished, the good guys win, and, maybe not a happily ever after, but as close as it can be, you know what I mean? Go ahead and drop a comment below. So, I will see everybody again probably next week, hopefully with another Star Wars review. I got a couple of other Star Wars books for my birthday that I haven't even touched yet, and here it is, December. So, until then, this is the Clumsy Jedi signing off, and May the Force be with you.